Good evening everyone and welcome back to the Ford Escort RS 1600 League from NXTGEN Racing, and we are here in Willow Springs and we've got 13 on the grid tonight, a good grid. Hopefully it'll be 14 a bit later, maybe even 15. So we've got a massive grid, load of new drivers looking to show what they can do and bring to the league. So hopefully it's going to be a cracking race. As we're in the 10-minute qualifying, you can see a few drivers struggling already. Beckinsale spinning off at turn 1 and NGR just on the inside there spinning as well. So let's have a run through who we have got on the grid for tonight. So we've got MSRT Omega 33, MSRT Silver 27, MSRT Alpha 76, NGR Lee, Whitford 0, Throw Your Badger, Web User Johnny, MSRT Vega, as one of the MSRT guys has just disconnected, JRBWD 66, NGR Scooby G, and Beckinsale 1992, who's having another trip across the grass, or dirt as it probably is around it. So the first lap times are just being put in now. Currently NGR MLV is on pole, as I didn't think I introduced him, but we are here at Willow Springs, the 2.5 mile track in California, just 1 hour north of LA, and this is the last race of our American part of the calendar, round 5 and 6. And we're 5.5 hours down from south from where we were last week in Sonoma. So NGR Silver is now gone provisionally quickest with a cracking time, 36.9, half a second quicker than anyone else. Slipstream is going to be a big factor around here tonight, as it proved last season. Last season's pole position time was a 36.246. set by NGR Lee, if I can find him. There he is, and someone's just managed to rejoin. Hopefully that's one of the MSRT drivers. Okay, sorry about that. So as I was saying, last season NGR Lee set the fastest lap of a 36.2, and that has been beaten already by the man himself, NGR Lee, currently sitting second in the championship. He's just improved to a 35.7. Doesn't look like he's done that with much of a slipstream either, so that's even more impressive. The fastest lap of the race, in fact, last season was a 35.093 set by JPH99, who has not been able to race this season due to other commitments. Unfortunately, one of the MSRT Alpha, I think it was, has just left. But let's just have a run through the new guys. So the MSRT crew, I think it stands for Moroccan Sim Racing Team. These drivers all from Morocco, so it'll be excellent to see how they get on. Nice to have them on the grid. There's 5 of them, I believe, although I don't think they're all in the lobby at the moment, but it'd be good to see how they get on. MSRT Omega currently not set a lap time, coming across the line now. How quick can he go? And maybe that was his out lap, he has not set a time. Monty Ned now coming across the line, currently in 11th. Don't think that's a representative lap he's got in there currently, but he does improve 7.5 seconds and that puts him up to 10th. Sorry about the distractions, just trying to get one other guy in who should be hopefully joining us. But while we're in qualifying, let's just run through the points as they stand after the first 4 races, with being at Watkins Glen Short and Sonoma GP, a feature race and a sprint race in both. And currently it is this man in the yellow and off track, Whitford Zero, who is championship leader on 72 points. NGR Lee is in second on 70 points. NGR MLV is third on 50, followed by NGR Scooby G on 48. One High Mofo on 42. Unfortunately he's not here at the moment, but he said he'll try and get along to the second race, sprint race. Numpty Ned is in 6th on 39, followed by web user Johnny on 37. Then we have Beckinsale 1992 on 26, and Dave Finn 78 on 16. So we only had 9 drivers all season in the first 2 races, and now we've got 13, potentially 14 or 15. So let's hope for as much excitement as we had all last season and at the start of this season. If you are watching or listening, feel free to post a comment in the comment section of the stream. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on whatever, or even if you've got a couple of questions for NGR Lee. Is 8 tenths up at the moment as we enter the final, as we're only about 30 seconds left of qualifying. But this track, as I said, very well known for slipstreaming, so I'm sure that will come into play big time around here. Freiberger, another new driver to the championship. Pleased to have him on board. He's not been racing too much in recent years, but has played a lot of sim racing games in the past, so nice to get him back into it. And as is the way of most of the new guys here, they're just looking for a competitive, clean league to race in. And my god, have you picked the right league if you're coming into this. If you haven't seen it before and this is the first time tuning in, check out some of the previous videos of the races. Every race near enough is recorded. Unfortunately I wasn't here for this race last season, but it was one of our best, so definitely worth checking out. A bit of lag there from Froyo Badger as he comes across the line to get his final lap time on the board. How does he do? He improves by a couple of seconds but remains in 12th. NGR Lee in the pits now. MSRT Silver is the top MSRT driver in 4th. Whitford, current championship leader, is down in 5th, but he's just coming around the final final corner even of the track. How far can he move himself up, if at all? He cannot move himself up. MSRT Omega 33 is in 6th. Beckinsale, does he improve? He doesn't either. Missed last week, but was on the podium in week 1 in the sprint race. MSRT Vega, the last across the line. He's currently in 9th. What can he do? Where can he put himself? We'll find out in a minute. Omega improved to 6th. Excellent lap there from Omega. So here is your qualifying positions. NGR Lee on pole, just like he was last season. NGR MLV, NGR Scooby G, MSRT Silver, Whitford Zero, MSRT Omega, web user Johnny up in 7th, Beckinsale 8th, MSRT Vega in 9th, JRBWD 66 in 10th, Numpty Ned 11th, and Froyo Badger in 12th. So the drivers will have a minute or two to sort themselves out. NGR Lee will be hoping for better this year, hoping to be able to make it past lap 1, as last season he jumped the start, got a drive-through penalty, and then got disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. So he'll definitely be hoping for better than that this season. But excellent to see a nice, good grid. and let's hope the action is justified. So a quick run through the grid again. Going to be very confusing with all the NGLs and MSRs on the left-hand tower of the positions there. But I will try my best. I'll probably just say Omega, Silver and Vega rather than the MSRT sections. Let's hope that they all ready up in time and make it to the grid. I think we've got about 30 seconds left before the... oh, there we go. I think that's everyone's sinking in now, so all 12 drivers should be on the grid and ready to go for the feature race in round 5. And we're off! It looked like Vega got... MSRT Silver even got a good start, and he did. He's up to second already. Scooby G's bogged down a bit, and Whitford again with his traditional excellent start has a look down the inside. He's moved himself up to 4th. Looks pretty clean all the way through the field, so that's excellent to see. Anyone being left behind? No, we're all still there. So as the 12 drivers make their way around turn 2, it's NGR Lee who heads the hit field ahead of MSRT Silver. Scooby G in 3rd, Whitford in 4th. Oh, there's been a bit of contact behind. I didn't see who that was, but they're falling down the field. Web user Johnny and MSRT Vega didn't quite see what happened, but they have both come into collision with each other. Meanwhile, Whitford is challenging for 3rd place with NGR Scooby G, who will have the inside for this downhill left, and Scooby G's run wide. Don't know if there's a bit of contact, but he's taken Whitford with him. Whitford spins him back round for good measure, but Scooby G can't quite hold it together. Whitford will rejoin, try and rejoin safely, and he has. Where's he going to file back in? He's in 6th, so obviously a fair bit of action we missed. But Numpty Nerd is just behind the battle with Throw Your Burger, Badger even, and MSRT Omega. And this is a battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. So Whitford needs to get his head down again. Control is maybe a bit of frustration. And push on, use the slipstream to good effect, and hopefully catch up to the leaders. Hasn't finished lower than 2nd this season after 4 races, but Omega's having a look around the outside. He might have the job done by the braking zone, and he has indeed. Whitford falls in behind. Meanwhile, Numpty Ned had a good lunge down the inside, and he's made it stick a little bit of elbows. Oh no, there's contact. Throw Your Badger has come into contact with Numpty Ned. Just caught the outside of the dirt around turn 1, and the back end come out. Unfortunately, I think that's a racing incident, and both of them have ended up in the wall. Let's hope they can both continue. It's a long race, a lot can happen as we've seen already. MSRT really piling the pressure on onto NGR Lee. Just 4 attempts is the gap at the front. MLV keeping his nose clean so far in 3rd. Beckinsale up to 4th, we've lost 1, so don't know who that is, but someone has retired. And JRBWD66, I'm going to take a while to get used to that one. Might just call him JRB for now. He's keeping his nose clean and in 5th quite comfortably now, so will he be able to push on and challenge him for the podium, even maybe top 4? We'll keep an eye out on him. But Whitford's coming back at Omega. Different lines there. Long swooping final 2 corners, and Whitford's putting his nose down the inside, just getting in the mirrors of Omega. And Omega licks the edge of the gravel, and that might give Whitford a good enough chance to get alongside. He has, and will have the inside line for turn 1. Will the roles be reversed this lap round? Looks like they will, and Whitford does indeed get through back up to 6th, and there's been Beckinsale in the wall big time at turn 2. I think he must have run wide at turn 1 and couldn't quite control himself, and he's now retired. That's a shame. We're down to 10. It's a long race as well, and he was running well. So that is JRB up to 4th, Whitford up to 5th, and Mega up to 6th, and he's still hassling Whitford. Reviews of Johnny is closed up a lot as well, so Johnny's in 7th, Vega is a lonely 8th, Throw Your Badger in 9th, but with Numpty Ned directly behind, so these two will be trying to push each other along. Not literally, I hope, but move themselves a bit further up the field. Now let's run on board with MSRT Silver and see what his view is like of the back of NGR Lee, who was relatively unchallenged last week at Sonoma, taking 2 wins out of 2. I mean, he did have a couple of drivers close behind for periods, but never really come under too much threat. But this looks like a bit of a threatening position. Lee definitely having to look in his mirrors into turn 1, and Silver is gonna try and work an opening. And Lee, a very experienced driver and most winning driver on the grid in this championship with 6. But can't do anything yet as we head up to turn 4. Turn 3 and 4 even. Very tricky corner this one, is a very bumpy section, as you see the drivers just trying to get over the bumps without losing traction. Very easy to do, maybe not so much in these cars with the lack of power, but in more powerful cars, especially the V8s, are a bloody nightmare to get around that section. But Lee's holding strong at the moment, and the slipstream will definitely come into effect now. But I've just noticed JRB has obviously had enough somewhere, because he's fallen down the field to 8th place, and Whitford up to 4th now. Web user Johnny is trying to hassle the back of Omega. Oh, the MSRT boys are all in the same colour as well. That's a nightmare. Okay, so we'll try and work our way around that. But Numpty Ned and Throw Your Badger are still together. Oh, Throw Your Badger just got a bit out of shape over the bumps, and he has collided with the wall. Hopefully he'll be able to continue. He does, he reverses it round, uses it as practice. But here we go, into turn 1 for the lead. MSRT Silver got the inside line. NGR Lee has to concede, and the lead has changed places for the first time this race. But Lee's not going to give it up without a fight. We know he's a fighter, and currently second in the championship. He will want to take the maximum points away from Whitford 0 as he can. And Lee has run wide, strangely. That looked very weird. Maybe just carrying a bit too much speed, but that will relieve the pressure for Silver, who's going for gold in this race. MLV keeping his nose clean, still all of his car intact, not like at Sonoma last week, where he managed to cause a nice crash on lap 1. Whitford pulled away now. Web user Johnny up to 5th, so Omega's at a moment, and down to 6th. Teammate Vega not too far behind, but JRB is trying to come back and get back up the field. He was running in 4th before his moment, but we missed that. Numpty Ned now in 9th, a great result of 4th place last week. His best so far, obviously debutant this season. And Throw Your Badger is in 10th. I think we've lost Scooby G. Don't know if that's through retirement. It might be. Scooby G was the only driver on this grid who actually was finished last season's race. So whatever happens now, no one can finish in the same place as they did last season. Lee obviously disqualified, and Scooby G was in 5th place last season. Other than that, no one else on this grid raced in that race. So it shows the amount of change we've had in a season. And it's all a bit of calm now. Although JRB has just got ahead of Vega, but Vega's not having any of it. He wants to get that place back. He wants to get back up to 7th. And he might just do that. Oh, JRB just clipping the edge of the grass or dirt. Almost losing it, but just about held on. And Vega wants to come back at him. He's got the inside line for turn 2, but he'll have the outside for turn 3. However, if you can hold the outside line, he'll have the inside for turn 4. So this is a tasty bit of track. Will it happen turn into anything? No. JRB gets his shoulders out, forces Vega wide and retains 7th place. Now he's going to have to put his eyes forward and try and chase down Omega, who is 6 seconds up the field, down the track, whatever you want to call it. But the battle at the front is coming back. Lee is lapping 2 tenths quicker last time round at least, and is within a second now of Silver. And who's that just ahead? I think that's Freiberger. The Badger, yes it is, yep, just ahead. And Vega also doesn't want to settle for the position he's in. He wants to be moving up as well. And will he be able to do anything into turn 1? I'm going to hope for the slipstream. Don't think he'll be close enough. Doesn't seem like he will be, and he probably wires just to settle back in behind for now, and he does that just perfectly. But the battle for the lead is down to 3 tenths now, and we're coming up to lapped traffic. Hopefully Throw the Badger will comply and not hold these guys up too much. I imagine Silver will flash his lights a little bit just to let him know he's there. And indeed, Throw Badger keeps to the outside, although not completely out of the way yet, and they're not past. This could be interesting. He's still keeping to the outside, which is good. Silver might feel like he was held a little bit, but generally the job was done well by Throw Badger, and he kept out the way, allowing the 2 leaders through. Now Throw Badger will try and hold on and follow these guys' lines or breaking points to see what they're doing, maybe learn a little bit or two. But Lee getting a lot better run through turn 1, have the outside for turn 2. You see the speedo dropping just through the amount of turning that the cars are doing, and a bit of uphill. Just saying, they're not terribly powerful, only maxing out at about 124 miles an hour, which is about 12 miles an hour less than the average speed of the lap record, which was set by Michael Andretti in a IndyCar in 1987. That was 136 mile an hour average speed, so and that was 1 minute 6. These guys nowhere near that. But battle for the lead is the only battle on track at the moment. NGR MLV is going to feel a bit lonely, as is Whitford, who's pulled away 6 seconds. Web user Johnny is in 5th. He'll be pretty pleased with that. Had a good start to the season. Well, at least the first couple of races were good for him. And he picked up he didn't finish in race 1, but he picked up a 5th in race 2. But he has been showing a good turn of speed this season. Omega now falling way behind. Oh, and Throw Badger's gone round again, unfortunately. But the battle for the lead is changing, and it will be NGR Lee down the inside. As long as he can hold it on the brakes, he will regain the lead, and he does so excellently. Silver just running his wheels on the outside of the grass, not losing any control, so still right on the bumper of NGR Lee. Down to 9, someone else has gone. I think that's Throw Badger has retired, so we're down to 9 unfortunately, but we've got 11.5 minutes left. Silva literally bump drafting Lee now. Down the back straight. Last season the win was taken by Fun's XP TV, our eventual champion, but that was just half a second difference over WRT Scott McFall in second, and that's closer than what this gap is now. This gap even is closer than what that was, and I feel if this is the gap coming on to the last lap, Silva might just try a lunge somewhere. Not that I know anything about Silva, but I could be very wrong. But debut race, debut win, that sounds pretty sweet to me. I'd take that. Doesn't want to finish where his namesake is, Ian Silva. He wants to finish on the top step, taking the gold. Contrasting lines through turn 2, and Silva now has the inside line, but he will have the outside for turn 3. Will Lee force him wide? That's the question I want to know. So side by side into turn 3. He does force him wide, but Silva's still almost there. Lee gives him a bit of room, and he's not quite. Silva's not quite there to capitalise on it, and Lee retains the lead. Good battle at the front. Unfortunately, this is the only battle on track as it is at the moment. But Lee's run wide. This is going to allow Silva through, surely. Over the curb, and Silva gets a good tidy run and instantly tries to pull out of a slipstream. So Lee's dropped back to half a second, 6 tenths now. But still 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes to go. Plenty of time. We've seen Lee make a mistake already this race and close a second and a bit down in a matter of laps. Silva up to first again, and they'll be in a lonely third. Got 2 podiums this season in the first race of the season at Watkins Glen, come in second, and in the sprint race last time round at Sonoma, come in third. So this will be his 3rd podium of the season. Whitford in 4th, not finished lower than 2nd. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and that leaves him top of the pile by 2 points over NGR Lee. But Lee has obviously made another mistake, and he's fallen back to a 2.5 now from Silva. So is that a bridge too far for Lee? Will this be the victory for Silva as long as he keeps it clean? 8 minutes left. Omega still circulating. 5 seconds behind web user Johnny, with Vega, what's that, 9 seconds back from his teammate. JRB has obviously made a mistake again somewhere as he's fallen behind Vega again. But in 8th, lapping quicker than the guys ahead as well. So, well, I would say there's not enough time really to catch on lap time. He's got to hope for a mistake from someone up ahead. And Ned also still circulating in 9th. And he's 13 seconds back from JRB. But it is this man, MSRT Silva 27, who is going to come across the line with just over 7 minutes to go. Had the awkward situation in the first sprint race where Whitford and Beckinsale were bumper to bumper across the line with 2 seconds to go, so Whitford couldn't slow down and take the flag as the time ticked down to 0. Had to go round again, but fortunately for him, he held off the challenge, a hard challenge it was, of Beckinsale to take the win. So very much a quiet period in this race now. Is Lee running a bit wide? Yes, he has. He's definitely pushing it, is Lee. Not a good lap last time round, and he knows he's running out of time to catch back up. just under 2 seconds is the gap, with 6 minutes to go. MLV still very lonely, Whitford still very lonely, Web User Johnny also very lonely, but 3 seconds ahead now of Omega, who's closed up a little bit in the last couple of laps, so can't rest, can Johnny? Still got to keep his foot down, keep putting in the lap times. As it stands, Omega's not quite lapping fast enough to close them down by the end. And Vega actually putting in a good lap time that last lap. But again, not lapping quite quickly enough to close in. And JRB running a little bit wide through turn 4, but holding on. 11 seconds now ahead of Numpty Ned, so Ned's actually closing in a bit on JRB. And a very good weekend, or week last week, a 4th and a 6th place at Sonoma, which has put him in 6th place in the points standings as it is at the moment. But there we go, running wide, and oh, is he going to hold on? Just about, well held, sir. Just about held on to it. But Silver and Lee are coming round to lap Numpty Ned now, so hopefully he complies as well as Freya Badger earlier on. It is a very tricky track, no spaces for errors really, with the grass or dirt being instantly off the track, no runoff here. So you touch the grass, you're around. Really closing in the gap a tiny bit, maybe 2 tenths that lap. We'll see what they do across the line. 36.7 to 36.5, yet 2 tenths difference. Not going to be enough, I'm afraid, for Lee as it stands. 1.5 seconds now. Ned does comply very well before throwing himself off the track and losing any chance he has of catching JRB, who almost lost it again. As Whitford runs wide, almost driving into the pits. And actually it's down to 2 seconds now, is the gap 5th to 6th. Web User Johnny and MSRT Omega 33. So Omega's really putting the hammer down, a second quicker that last lap, so he might well catch Johnny as this if it continues. I reckon there's 2 more laps in this race. Where are the leaders? Maybe 3. So Omega's got a bit of time, and Whitford seems to have had a poor lap, very poor lap, 150. So he's fallen way back into the clutches of Web User Johnny, and he can't rest on his laurels either. Maybe a bit of complacency from Whitford, or maybe just trying to push the boundaries. Where can he find a bit more time for the sprint race? But here we are now, Omega right on the tail of Johnny. Let's go on board with the driver himself. Oh, Lee has gone round somewhere because he... where am I doing? There we go. Because he's down to 3rd. Missed that. Lee has gone off again. MLV up to 2nd. Lee down to 3rd. And that will definitely hand the win to Omega, to Silver. But let's go back to the battle with Omega and Web User Johnny. I don't think he'll be close enough to do anything into turn 1. But might well do in going to turn 3. Omega using the high line for turn 1, and in fact losing a little bit. So I think that's his chances of this lap maybe getting past. We'll have to do it on the last lap. Johnny takes the high line through turn 2. So if you are interested in joining us, guys, please do head down to the Next Gen Racing Facebook page and join as a member. It only takes 30 seconds to join, so get your asses down, try and join us on track. Plenty to get your teeth stuck into. We've got leagues in Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo Sport, and I think we've got Dirt Rally as well, so plenty to get your teeth stuck into throughout the week. You can mix and match between games if you so wish. But Silver is about to start his no, he's not even around turn 2, so he's on his final lap with a pretty comfortable gap, although it hasn't been that way all race. NGR was leading for a good portion, and then when he was passed by Silver, he didn't let him go quick. In fact, he got back past him at one point before succumbing to the Silver machine. Whitford, a very lonely race in 4th, but Johnny is now continuing to be hassled by Omega. It's going to be a great finish from these two, but where is Silver? He's coming into the last 2 corners, so we'll come back to him in just a minute as Omega's having a look round the outside of web user. Johnny into turn 2, can't do it there. He'd probably have a go at turn 3. Where is he? Here we go. MSRT Silver comes around the final corner now. It's going to be a debut race and a debut win. Faultless drive from MSRT Silver 27. Takes maximum points and wins round 5 at Willow Springs. Excellent driving. NGR MLV will be very satisfied with his 2nd place after literally seeing no one near enough the majority of the race, and he'll take his 3rd podium of the season. Another 2nd place for him. NGR Lee, I feel, will be fairly disappointed with that, having led and been 2nd, only a touch behind Silver the whole race. Fell off at some point towards the end and comes home in 3rd, but still a podium position, unlike this man Whitford Zero. First time lower than 2nd this season, even though we are only 5 races into the season. He will come home in 4th, but web user Johnny is resilient and in holding off Omega, who runs a little bit wide. I don't think he's going to quite do it. Web user Johnny's held on to equal his best result of 5th place. Excellent drive, excellent driving from Omega as well. I bet they both enjoyed that little battle towards the end. MSRT Vega got I think it was Vega who come off on the first lap with a little bit of collision with Johnny, but he'll come home in 7th, also on debut. JRB was running up in 4th at one point, but generally had a pretty lonely race, and he'll come home in 8th place on debut again. Hopefully all the debutantes here have enjoyed this race. We've got another race coming up after this, the sprint race, so keep your eyes fixed on YouTube. Do a separate video, but we'll have a maybe 5-10 minute gap between. And Numpty Ned was a lap down, but he will come home in 9th. So there's your finishers. Only 9 finishes from the 12 that started, and hopefully we can get a near enough full grid for the next race, and hopefully they can all finish it. So who got fastest lap? 35.2 is the best. 35.1 from NGR Lee. So Lee got fastest lap as well as pole position. So that, guys, is your finishing positions for the feature race, and some excellent drives throughout the grid, especially the man on top, MSRT Silver, on his debut, taking the fight to NGR Lee and coming out victorious. So join us again in a minute, guys, or 10, for the sprint race, and I hope you enjoy it.